Please humiliate me. Please humiliate me. Julie Miyeon Sohn.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who just chuckled at my speech title. Hi, my name is Julie, and today I have a confession to make. I have a fetish for humiliation. That's right, I love being humiliated. But before you think that I'm weird or crazy, or even drag me off the stage, please, don't get me wrong. I'm not a pervert. I'm not into spanking like bad girl. Or whipping. Nah, not the kind of S&M stuff. Besides, this is Toastmasters, so you don't want to talk about politics, religion, or sex. I mean, we can talk about it after. So sorry to disappoint you guys, but my speech today is about my healthy fetish for humiliation and how humiliation totally changed my life. So, to find out how it changed my life, why don't we go back in time to get to where it all started. Time travel to 2010. Ba-bum. At that time, I was studying at a university here in Seoul, and one day, I decided to take an English acting class at school. Oh. That was a mistake. A huge mistake. On the first day of class, I walked in, and whoa, everybody was such a natural, and their acting was perfect, man. On the other hand, well, I was also a natural, just a different kind of natural. I was a natural disaster. We were doing a play called Romeo and Juliet. And my professor personally picked me to play Juliet. Whoa. Because, you know, Julie played Juliet. Perfect fit, isn't it? So it really started off as a match made in heaven. Soon after, it turned out to be a match made in hell. So instead of just talking about it, let me show you my acting. Come, gentle knight, come. He will be by Romeo. I must hear from thee every day in the hour. Where is by Romeo? So after my acting was over, my professor was a little bit unhappy. So she said, with her posh British accent, "Are you mental? That was totally rubbish." I was watching a business transaction. Now, I'm pretty sure you make a great businesswoman in the future, but bloody hell, you stink at acting. Man, it hurt like a sting. But she wasn't finished. As I was returning back to my seat, defeated, she gave me one last blow. She said, "Julie, seriously, are you always that serious?" Man, that hurt like the nastiest thing. I was so mad and said, I wanted to defend myself by saying something back. Back then, however, my English was really, really bad. Bad is an understatement because I couldn't say more than 5 words in a row. So when she said, "Are you always that serious?" I froze up and all I could mumble was, "Oh, yes, I'm always serious." Then my classmates burst into laughter. Ha ha! And I could almost hear them thinking, "Nya, nya, 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 she is an idiot." I was really humiliated to death. So then and there, I said to myself, yes, it's time for me to seriously study English. So from the next day, I set out on a journey to conquer English. So I started asking around, how can I learn English? Give me some tips. And their answer, get an American boyfriend. That is the fastest way. American boyfriend. And for that matter, not even a Korean boyfriend. But who cares about a boyfriend, right? Because I had one thing that others didn't have. A strong motivation based on equally strong humiliation. So whenever I lost my motivation, like, oh, I don't want to study anymore, then all I had to do was wake up and think back to the one humiliating day in school. Then all of a sudden, I got angry again. Then I could study like crazy. And I mean literally crazy. I always pretended that this wall was my mean professor, and I was having a fight with him. Like, yo, you're the professor now, but at the end of the day, I'll be teaching you. But unfortunately, it has some side effects. I started talking like a gangster. But other than that, you know, the effect was pretty dramatic. Because I went from, yes, I am always serious, to competing at the speech contest. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, if we harness it the right way, humiliation has the power to motivate us. You see, humiliation leads to motivation, and motivation leads to determination. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not be afraid to be humiliated. Instead, let's welcome it by saying, please, humiliate me.